To Law 12. At the end of this unit, we've basically covered a great deal of material, and hopefully you found something you're really interested in about prisons. If you're not, we'll look at forensics. But for now, start this unit by taking a look at this little video clip that I have here on the power of questions. So it's a small YouTube video that goes over how really the most important thing that we can do as students now is learn to ask questions. And so that's supposed to inspire us as we move on our little journey here and answer our own question that we're interested in. So inquiry is a hugely important and innovative way to learn in that it's really student driven. You get to choose whatever you want, you get to present it in any way you want, you get to go deeper with research. So first of all, I always tell students, follow this process. Develop an essential question and think about, why is it meaningful to you? Why do you care about prison food? Why are you really interested in cadaver farms? What made you interested in prison weaponry? And so what's your authentic piece going to be? How are you going to create that? Are you going to make prison weapons? Are you going to live like a prisoner for a week and keep a diary of it? Are you going to design your own prison using AutoCAD? And then what are you going to read, research, and study to help you explore that question? So most of us are going to be limited to some sort of online research, YouTube videos, Netflix documentaries at the moment. You should also indicate, what are your goals? What do you want to learn? How do you want to be better by the time you've done this? What are those critical thinking skills? What learning evidence are you going to gather to capture how you've answered that essential question? Are you going to create a police report? Are you going to create a prison diary vlog? Are you going to create a podcast? What are the things that really would make it sustainable for you to keep doing this project and working on it? What's going to make you want to get out of bed every day and go, I can't wait to work on that law project. I'm going to go in my backyard and create a crime scene. So I'm going to dig up the backyard and I'm going to put a fake skeleton in there. I'm going to blood splatter a room in my house and turn it into a crime scene to show my knowledge. Really, the sky's the limit on this. And so what's your plan? I always tell students, you have to be prepared. You have to create a plan, get a calendar ready to go. So really, you're going to develop your essential question. You're going to create a plan. You're going to explore and research. You're going to collect your learning, and then you're going to create that authentic piece. And then really at the end, usually we would display this publicly, but in this case, it's just for Mr. Fitton. So as you go down, first things first is open up your prison inquiry assignment. So if you choose to do this one, we're going to look at your prison inquiry assignment. It looks like this. Basically what this does is it tells you we're going to learn about some aspect of prisons and we're going to show it in some way we want. So some students have created term papers if they want to get ready to go to university and want the practice for that. Others have said, hey, I want to be a lawyer, so I want to create a dossier that a lawyer would create. Other students said, I want to be a police officer. I want to create maybe a police report. Others have said, I want to go into construction, so I want to build something. So I'm going to build my own prison. I want to be an engineer. I'm going to go learn AutoCAD and do that. Some students want to do a science fair project poster. That's sort of one of the popular ones. Some people have designed the menu for the prison, and so they have a complete meal plan to help prisoners learn how to rehabilitate better. Other students have created their own documentaries with pictures online, or they've taken themselves and they've created kind of like a Blair Witch style documentary. You could do animations, you could do a mind map if that's for you. Had a student one year actually decide what it would be like to live like a prisoner for a week. So he researched their diet, their exercise, and how much yard time they get, and he ate only what prisoners would eat and only at times that they would eat. And he locked himself in his room and he slept on a floor, on a mattress on the floor, like a camping mattress to simulate jail. And he basically lived like a prisoner for a week and then documented that whole process with pictures and video, etc. And he had sort of a thesis about what the impact would be on him. I've had other students do epic rap battles, crash courses, one student that developed a musical score and then explained how it related to prison. So first thing I would recommend doing in this process is really think, what's the topic? What's the big idea? Is it prison food? Is it gangs? Is it weapons? Is it prison culture? Is it prison slang? Select that topic that intrigues you, and often I would select one or two in case one topic doesn't go well for you. And then just start doing your research. I would develop 1 or 2 questions, and later on my website, I've got a little section on what the difference between a thesis, a topic, and a question is. Then I would research, and partway through, we'll do a little mini lesson on academic journals. But just remember, Netflix and YouTube are acceptable research areas. You just have to be aware of the veracity of the articles and the reliability, and we'll look at that as well. And then decide how you're going to share your presentation, and then share it. And I've got several examples on my website. The assessment's listed down here. It's a 6-point scale that you can read through on your own, and we'll go over that about a week into this project. So once you've started, I can give you that sort of feedback. I would also recommend looking at this process outline. So I've got a little outline that sort of asks you to think before you start. What's your topic? What's your question? Why is it meaningful? What is your authentic piece? How are you going to share your work? What are your talents and skills that you can bring to this project to make it so that you really enjoy this process? What will you read, research, study, or what expert will you contact to help explore your question? I've had some people contact jail guards and prison inmates for their interviews. One guy interviewed a relative who had spent some time in prison. What are your goals for this inquiry? What learning evidence are you going to gather? Are you going to annotate? Are you going to have a process journal? Are you going to write notes? And I've got an option for where you can write and get your information. And then what's your plan? And then often I tell kids, use a calendar. I keep a day book and a calendar to keep me straight and keep me on track and set goals and intentions. Here is a potential chart you can use. You would write your topic, what your question is. What article did you read? And remember to cite everything in APA format. Then what was the next article you read and the next article? And then what are the conclusions you've drawn, or what are the things you want? Now, I often have room for 2 questions on here. Sometimes students' first question or topic just doesn't work out. So I always say have one in your back pocket that you're interested in as well. Here are a few of the amazing student samples from the past. On my website, we've got women in insane asylums, we've got prison weapons, and I'm going to throw a few up there. How do you rehabilitate? And one student looked at everything from religion to work to mental health professionals and wanted to know what's the best way to rehabilitate inmates. Every year I have quite a few students who do prison weapons and learn about them. I've had a student in the past make a website. So here's a look at prison relations, and here's their thesis. Being incarcerated makes maintaining relationships while in prison difficult due to individuals being taken away from normal life. And then they went along and wrote about the impacts of that. And this student really wanted to create a website and learn how to do that for their future, and wanted to create a classy looking website. Another student was a videographer, and so you can see here she's created a video where she goes over information. I think she even has video clips from movies in here that she also included, so you'd have to take a look through, but it would be, so there we go, an example of something that you could do if you were interested in prisons. Okay. We would do a mini lesson. And here's another student who did one on prison violence, and he actually looked at weapons, developed his topic, his question, his thesis in Google Slides, did a great deal of research, and then eventually actually made these weapons. So you can see him here creating the weapons. He actually created his own tattoo gun with some welding and soldering, and created a razor blade toothbrush shank. And you can see here that he did a great deal of research. So the sky is really the limit on this project, and I can't wait to see what you folks come up with because it's an exciting way to put together everything we've learned about prisons. There is another option that I'm going to go over if you want to choose forensics. So good luck. I can't wait to see what you come up with.